Hello, everyone. This is the 22nd and 24th President of the United States, Tony Danza, here with a message about our dress code. You can follow Ryan O'Connor at Wrangleshank on Instagram and Twitter. The link is in the description. Also in the description is the link to the Bonehead cartoon, and a bunch of other links as well. So give them a click, won't ya? Furthermore, be sure to like, share, subscribe, because sharing is caring, and subscribing is surviving. And what's not to like about that? Thank you.
It's time for Ink the Book Show with your host, Ryan O'Connor. And now, let's ink the book.
Hey everybody, it's the last Ink the Book show for a couple days. The last proper Ink the Book show for a couple days. I'm going to be in another state, so I won't have all my stuff with me. I'm going to bring pages to pencil and thumbnail and plan out, but there's some pages that need to be reworked, but I won't be proper inking. So for a couple days, I will be trying to do some little broadcasts while I'm with my family out in the barren Wisconsin wasteland. But anyway, I've got so many chores today. I don't know why I'm gabbing. I should be drawing right this moment. So my goal was to finish this page yesterday. So I got to finish this before I can go on my little vacation. Because them's the rules. And if you don't have rules, all you have is chaos! I don't think those lines make sense. This looks like the back of his head. That's been bugging me. The lines that I put on his head make it look like he's looking directly that way, but the shape of his head looks like he's kind of looking off this way. I'm gonna redo that real quick. Okay. Let's get some white up in here. Yeah, still got shopping to do. Want to go get a haircut. Want to get some new shoes. Everything in my life has been put off until today. And then I've got a 3-hour drive ahead of me too. So, but I've kind of figured out how I'm budgeting my time with it. That's going to be better. So this is the pyramid.
Yeah, so some of my family is already heading out. My sister just got there last night. I did a bunch of shopping last night, but I've still got stuff to do. I think I'm gonna grab me some cigars. I think it'll be a nice occasion for a cigar. I was up till 5 a.m. for no good reason last night. I didn't even get to coloring my monster. That's another thing. I'm gonna bring my sketchbook to keep doing monsters. My daily drawings. So I haven't posted yesterday's yet, or I guess this early mornings, since I've been posting them at like 3 a.m. or something. So I'm a little behind, and I got to draw a new one and color that. I might, for lack of wanting to bring a whole bunch of Prismacolor markers, I might just bring a watercolor set. That'll be nice, I think. And a watercolor set with me. And while I'm at it, I might as well clean out this little water bottle, which is more ink than water at this point. Bring that with me. I think I'm gonna do. Okay. These little squares, I want it to be straight. These little. They're going to be. I don't think it's going to show on that last page, that page that I drew yesterday. This one. I think they're just going to be blank or blankish. Maybe. I'll figure it out. In any case, it'll be vague. I might like lasso tool drawings into them. I'm not sure when I'm coloring it. Just so they're, like I say, vague. But all these squares, they're like memories. They're the scenes of his life, of Bonehead's life.
This is a curious place he's in. Okay. Let's, I'll be quick so I can get on the road. Here I am dawdling. Not dawdling. I don't know. I could be a little more focused though. Okay, let's see. This world is built round punctuality, it never fails. The song's been stuck in my head for like 2 days now. I think since I said that I shaved and I was becoming a well-respected man, like the Kinks are always talking about. Okay, let's get on to Bonehead's Papa. And his arm sweat smells the best. When I first drew Bonehead's dad, I think I kind of had Louis Anderson in mind, who just died this past year or so, maybe 2 years. I wonder, should I I'll do the color on this, the black, because here I was leaving the black out of it, but I think on the close-up I'll do it. And what I'll probably do is when I color it, I'll do like a color hold on the outlines, so it's a lighter color than black. There's a way you can select all the black and change the hue so it's not, to kind of like push it back to it'll make a nice effect, because these are almost like holograms. I'm sort of fighting the camera. That ain't gonna work. Okay. Here's that. So here's little baby Bonehead. This is a really funny memory, I think. This is probably my favorite one. I don't even want to say what it is, because it'll be funny. Because we see a big handful of Bonehead's memories. I don't think I have Bonehead's mom in here. I designed his mom and dad a long time ago, just on the offhand chance I would make a cartoon of them someday, like with them in it. And this was like one of the later scenes that I decided to put in this book. I didn't know that it was going to happen exactly. And so I wasn't planning on putting Bonehead's dad in it necessarily, but I was like, oh, that's a good opportunity to get his dad in there. Or his mom and dad. And the scene that I came up with just had his dad in it. So he calls out for his wife. She just remains off screen.
So, part of the way I'm justifying not leaving and working on this is that I've got some packages I'm waiting on that are supposed to arrive soon. Because today's my brother's 33rd birthday. And then the 12th, in 2 days, is my dad's 61st birthday. And then 2 days after that, the 14th, is my nephew Chancellor's 4th birthday? Yeah. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. Oh, so yesterday I was in the middle of a stream and I got an email. I saw that I got an email from They Might Be Giants, and I sneaked it open. And I was immediately freaked out because I see our show. It was like the day before they had their first show in 2 years. They've been postponing their tour over and over for over 2 years. And they had their first show, and I opened the email, and they're like, it says, I see, show went great. John Flansburgh was in a serious car accident. Broken bones, and then I see something about vital organs, and I was like, oh my god, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And then turns out he's okay. He didn't damage any vital organs. Thanks, John Linnell, for your morbidity. When you're breaking the news of a serious car accident, you don't mention vital organs unless you absolutely have to. Would be my advice. But no, I guess he's okay. Didn't damage any vital organs, but he broke 7 ribs. Some of them in several places. But so they're postponing their June shows again. My show was like one of the first ones that got canceled. Or not canceled, but postponed. So as of now, it's supposed to be right by my birthday in October. I don't know how. It's like way down the line of shows when they're coming back, but that's the way it worked out, I guess. But I don't know. I'm hoping he's okay. Sounds like he's doing well. Oh, that's what I was going to say is like a little while later, after the broadcast, I got a second email from They Might Be Giants. This one from John Flansburgh. John Linnell wrote the first one. And he was just doing an email from his hospital bed, kind of explaining what happened. I guess that he was getting a ride service back to his apartment from the show, and the car was
T-boned and like flipped the car that they were in, and him and the driver were taken to the hospital, and he immediately was thinking like, okay, well, I have this much time to get to the next show. And he was like making a like his kind of like game plan for like what he was gonna like, how he was gonna have to get out to wherever and do this and that, and he's like kind of relaying his thoughts about it to the doctor, and the doctor's like, oh no, you're staying in bed. You're not going anywhere for a while. And he's like, oh, right, damn. But isn't that funny? Like that, I always imagine doctors being like baffled when people do stuff like that. Like no, you, of course you're not going anywhere. You have several broken ribs right now. But doctors must see that reaction all the time, like to people who are just injured or in an accident or like in some kind of traumatizing experience, and then they're like, oh well, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I can't be in this hospital. And I'm sure it's like nothing surprising to doctors. But I remember there was it had to be 5, almost 6 years ago. My dad was painting some place, as he does, and I don't know, something happened where he misstepped and fell down a flight of stairs. And I think it was right before my 5-year-old nephew was born. And he was like I think what happened, so he fell down this flight of stairs, and I think he immediately got up and was like, I think his face was all beat up, and he got up and was like trying to like go back to what he was working on, like just kind of like embarrassed about it. But he was like, okay, let's get back to work. And then my brother, who was working with him, was like, no, sit down, please. Sit down. We called an ambulance. You're gonna go to the hospital because you look like a jack-o'-lantern in November. And yeah, I think that's a common thing where like you're rattled and you're just trying to like get back to business. And you're like, no, I'm fine. Like, sure about that? Okay, so I'm gonna do so I think the pictures of my dad when he first held my nephew Braden, he's like all beaten and bruised. Looks like my mom took a rolling pin to his head or something. Oh, sure, you fell down a flight of stairs. I shouldn't I shouldn't joke about domestic abuse. Even though it's pretty dang funny. Domestic abuse. I'm just kidding. My mom doesn't beat my dad. Why would I? No, he just falls downstairs because he's got that O'Connor blood in him. That O'Connor inner ear thing that throws off his equilibrium and balance. No, I don't think there's an inner ear thing. I think there's just a natural clumsiness. There was a while there, my dad was having a bad bout of clumsiness. I think he got a pen lodged in his thigh or not his shin or something about that time. He has the ghastly scar. And it was just like I think he fell off a ladder. He tripped on a curb and like he kept having like these goofy like bad bout of unfortunate accidents. He's doing okay now. Yeah, I have all these songs popping into my head. Not just Well Respected Man, but they are all the Kinks right now. I have all these Kinks songs jumping into my head. What else? It's Shangri-La, which I really love. I found out about that one through that show on Fox with Will Forte, Last Man on Earth. There's an episode that plays the whole song, I think, to a scene, and it was just so great. And I was like, I gotta find out what that song is because that was amazing. Shangri-La, I love that song. And what's another Kinks one that was just in and out of my head over and over? Lola. Lola is another song that I really like. I like it because it like never comes out and says what it's about. It just kind of it really dances around it. It's very clever that way, I guess. Oh, what's that? That dancing song that they do too? 'Cause that one was. They put a parking lot on a piece of land where the supermarket used to stand. That guy. Come dancing, it's only natural. Or something like that. So I want to get new shoes. Maybe something nice to wear as well, and a haircut before I go out there. I've been needing a haircut for a while. I've been needing new shoes for a while. I'm wearing these crummy, tattered Converse low tops, or whatever you call the ones that aren't high tops. Some Converse Daisy Dukes, low cut shoes. But I think I've been mostly wearing Converse or shoes like Converse since high school, and I think I gotta get away from them because I think they're messing with my knees. Because I have flat feet, and wearing flat shoes with no arch support is not doing me any favors, I don't think. And I'm on my feet all day when I'm not sitting on my butt here. It's like I don't even know if I'll find a shoe I like. I'm a big stick with what you know kind of guy. Like, I always buy Dell computers because I bought a Dell computer once. Etc. I always go to Great Clips when I get my hair cut.
I'm not a fancy pants man. I don't go to these salons, brah. I don't need no fussin'. I don't need your whistles and bells. When tornadoes take over the world, you won't have your folks to blame for all the stuff that's your fault. Your friends will be swirling right above your disembodied head. When tornadoes take over the world, all the things in the fridge that fell on the floor will disappear. And all of your neighbors will be waving their flashlights at your house. When tornadoes take over the world. This needs to be smaller. I wrote a note size. So, what do we do? I don't even know. What can you do? What can you do about it? What can you do? What can you do? That's a Lemon Demon song called Hyper World, I believe. Yes, yes it is. I'm in a song hole on this stream. Songs are popping into my head. And that's about it. That Tornadoes Take Over the World song, that's an old Dial-A-Song track from They Might Be Giants, sung by John Flansburgh. Dial-A-Song was the thing where they had a phone machine in the 80s and 90s. They've kind of kept some version of it to this day. It's not the same number. It's the same number, but different area code now. But now it's 844-387-6962. I just know it is all. I can't tell you how or why. I just do. 387-6962.
Swing is a word. No, but they have a phone machine thing where you can call anytime. It's just a regular call to Brooklyn. And they would have a song on their answering machine, is how it was in the 80s. Now it's like a computer generated thing, but and they would constantly be switching out the tapes. So it was like every time you called, there'd be a new song waiting for you. So and they would put on little jingles to introduce the tracks too, and it'd be like, "There's a new song every hour on They Might Be Giant style of song. So call back in an hour." After you hear this next song, and your call is next. And then it would go, and then play, I don't know, a demo to The Bells Are Ringing, or a demo to Dr. Worm, or some other song that never found a place, like When Tornadoes Take Over the World. In the moat of the castle was where the Duke of Something's wife drowned, and the eyes of her portrait seemed to follow him around. The bank foreclosed on his dungeon when the Duke was late in paying, and now he looks at her picture and he seems to hear it saying, "What is it like to be alive?" And he gets no answer to that. She gets no answer that she can hear, though she may wonder. She doesn't get an answer. That's a dial-a-song track called No Answer. It's one of my favorites. Even though I flubbed the gender of the what is it? The Duke of Something's wife's gender. I flubbed her gender at first. I forgot who got no answer. I'm liking this page so far. He looks down and finds the binky in this story on the steps. I'm going to have to do something with the corner of his head and the top of this step meeting like that. I don't want that to intersect like that if I can help it. There's Bonehead, our favorite little guy. Boy, he sure is better than that Ryan character. That guy doesn't have any distinguishing characteristics. It's like plain oatmeal that gives you cancer. That's Ryan. The levels of my self-deprecation are off the charts. I would call up current dial a song, but it's likely like a modern track that is on one of their albums, and it would give this stream a copyright claim that I don't necessarily want. But yeah, if you call 8447. No, I keep wanting to do both. What do you call it? Area codes. Oh, hey, look. 844 3876962. That's dial a song now. Lauritz. Hi there. I'm inking my first graphic novel, Bonehead. This is page 177. Which I'm trying to do before I go on my little few-day trip with my family to this lake house. I'm not letting myself go and enjoy my little break until I finish this page. Oh, thank you. You know, it's a lot of, I have a lot of inspiration from like old Nicktoons, and old Cartoon Network shows. Things like, you know, Bonehead here. I'll show you Bonehead. I think the initial thing that people think is that he kind of looks like Invader Zim with the peak on his head. Though I think that was more of a stylistic, just to make him look like something I hadn't seen before. When I first designed him, he was like just a straight up diamond shaped head. But like the buck teeth is kind of me thinking of SpongeBob and stuff. There's some Billy and Mandy here. I feel like when I was kind of like trying to figure out my style, I was kind of like, I remember even like Ed, Edd and Eddy, which I wasn't that fond of. I was always trying to like incorporate things from all these cartoons, Cow and Chicken. And then some things that I used to do in my drawings kind of fell away, and it just kind of, some stuff would stick over the years. But it's all like, it all kind of came together, my style, by just being obsessed with 90s cartoons and kind of trying to figure them out since high school. And even though I've been watching 90s cartoons for way longer than that. What else? But also watching, there's this comic guy, Doug TenNapel, who also did a Nicktoons called Cat Scratch. He's done like 20 something graphic novels, maybe 25 graphic novels. And for a while, not so much now, but for a while he was doing he was streaming himself drawing his graphic novels. And I have all his books. So I was learning a lot by watching him draw. And I feel like he's kind of seeped into my drawing style a good bit. There's a very old school feel to it, not really modern cartoons only. Oh, okay. You don't have a thing for the 50s stuff. I do. I love like Looney Tunes. I love going on to like HBO Max and watching all those old Looney Tunes. Or let's see, what else do I like? I don't watch too much of like Popeye and stuff, but old Looney Tunes for sure. I'm a real huge fan of. And I'd say, if anything, that's probably seeped into my language a little bit, like old Looney, more so than my drawing stuff. Yeah, I'd say I tend to talk like an old cartoon character sometimes. People make my friends make fun of me sometimes because they're like, "Did you just say Jiminy Christmas?" or something like that. But Daffy Duck is one of the funniest characters out there. And yeah, when I'm driving in my car, a lot of times to keep myself alert, like if I'm getting tired or something, I start doing scenes in the voices. Like I'll do like stuff from What's Opera Doc to just kind of keep my mind active. But I don't think I've incorporated it into my style very much. At least not consciously. But you can't go wrong by trying to learn from those old cartoons. Those are, no one can touch them. They're like the gold standard. My dad's his favorite is Foghorn Leghorn. Da 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 dee da dum doo da doo da 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 dee da dum oh the doo da day. Might just be how you build the stuff. I don't care for modern cartoons, but the old stuff is so lively. Yeah, yeah. In particular, yeah, there's so much more acting, and it's just, there's cleverness in every little movement, every little delivery, every antic, every line of dialogue. It's just so rife with personality. And if you can get that into your characters, you've got something. Which, yeah, you don't see it nearly as much today. But that's why I'm a big fan of I'm a really big fan of Ren and Stimpy, and that's one thing that I think everybody on Ren and Stimpy was really big into, like classic cartoons, and they were basically as close as modern cartoons probably ever got to capturing that kind of thing, that kind of personality, and like, I don't know, they kind of rebottled that art a little bit. Never noticed until you look back. Old Disney. Oh yeah, Disney. I wasn't even thinking about Disney this whole time. Old Disney was huge for a reason. Things seem so watered out in writing and painting. Yeah. Yeah, one of my favorite movies, just for how beautiful and stylistic it is. It's like math. I don't know, like the background paintings of Sleeping Beauty by Ivan Earl are. I look at that movie and I'm just blown away. It's just so beautiful. Ren and Stimpy was bizarre but so lively and real in a way. Even if it was surreal. Yeah, and that's what I say. I just, like, I look at Ren and Stimpy and I think it's so beautiful to me, even though there's so much like decided ugliness going on in it, like just anger and yelling and violence and gritty, grimy looking stuff. Something about it just rings as really beautiful to me. Like, I get really passionate about Ren and Stimpy, but what I loved in old Disney as a kid was that it was so much more honest, harsh but real in another way, like old European tales. Yeah. Trying to think, like Pinocchio is kind of wild, like that gets dark. Like the like Stromboli is like a really dark character, and like all these like criminals that Pinocchio ends up consorting with is just like kind of really like eerie, and it's like harsh reality kind of stuff. Let's see. So, do you draw, Lawrence? Ooh, do you stream? Said Pinocchio is really dark. The original tale is worse, but you have had that honest aspect. Yeah, it was preachy in a way, but still spoke to something fundamental. Yeah, I really want to read the Carlo Collodi or whatever his name is. I really want to read that book. It's so thick. I think I looked into it a while back because there's this really goofy comic artist, Casey Green, who does a lot of weird projects. He started doing like a web comic version of Carlo Collodi. I forget his name. I think it's Collodi. His version of Pinocchio, and he was doing a comic version of it, and I think that might still be ongoing, but it made me, I don't know, it just kind of stuck in the back of my head that I might want to read that, and I think it's come up a number of times. I actually did start listening to an audiobook of it, come to think of it, but I didn't get too far before I abandoned it. For whatever reason. He said, you don't draw anymore, but you really should. You used to do portraits, never knew how much there was to art back then beyond how meditative and surprising it was to me. Yeah, though, there was always this like thing in the back of my head, like when I was in art school and beyond, like after I finished art school. And it was like I would always start projects and never finish them, and I didn't seem to be getting art jobs or quite the jobs I wanted. And I was just like seeing all my friends give up on art around me, and I was like, when am I going to give up art? And that thought really scared me. And it was like I kept starting projects and not finishing still, and then I don't know, when I turned 30, it was just like, okay, I think it's like I got this kind of panic in me that kind of got me a little more serious on finishing projects. So I started an animation project. I made an animated cartoon of Bonehead that after the broadcast, there'll be a link to it if you're interested in watching a 16-minute cartoon about this character. But it's just like a little goofy sponge. But it's certainly not the better kind of animation we're talking about. But I tried to do my best. It was all drawn by me, and it's not even as well drawn as this book is shaping up to be. But I tried, dang it. But I finished. That was my first big project that I was like, I set out to do and made it happen. And then I went right into writing this book after that. So by the time I finished this book, so this is going to be a 250-page comic, and I'm about, it says 177, but it's probably more like 190. And when I finish inking it, I want to letter it and color it myself. You know, I just want to prove to myself that I can do it, I guess. And then I just want to keep making books and projects. You said Michelangelo said something like, "My faith falters, but in coming to learn the beauty of the world, I feel my eyes are rising on high." Yeah.
My faith falters, but in coming to learn the beauty of the world, I feel my eyes are rising on high. Yeah, that's really cool. That's my kind of language. I like that. And yeah, more and more, I'm really trying to like become a better artist, be more meaningful in what I do, and think harder about what I'm trying to accomplish, and like make this as good a book as possible and stuff like that. And yeah, I think that's what's becoming important to me. Like just kind of I don't know. I want to be more I want my presence to be a little more meaningful, I guess. So, like, here's the first comic I made. Where is it? And this was made probably trying to be a lot more Ren and Stimpy than I've started a new book with these characters, and it wasn't called My Neighbor's a Psychopath either. It was called Moon Valley, and like these characters have like their model is different like every panel. It looks so trashy to me, but I had started another book where it was a little more refined, and I got about 50 pages into that before I abandoned it. But I think that I'm going to revisit that after I finish this Bonehead project. But like when I look at this, it just kind of like makes me cringe at how just wild, and there's like, I guess there's discipline on these pages in that I finished this little 24-page comic, but it's beyond that. It's so chaotic. That I can't stand behind it too confidently. You said you do think there's something to that. You get something more out of the world when you draw and get more out of yourself. It's strange, but you yourself and other people in general are disconnected and not all there. Life is a gift, and neglect is decay. Drawing and painting is truly taking the world from both directions. Yeah. The book is very expressive, but crude, to be honest. Your style has evolved. You don't do you can't fail, but you can't succeed or grow. Yeah, definitely. Like that's the thing. It's like yeah, very expressive, which I think was probably what I was going for. And but it was just, yeah, very crude. And I don't think I thought that at the time, but it's like I can't unsee it now. I drew 3 arms here because I didn't know which one to settle on, or I didn't know
what position I wanted to settle on for this arm, but I think I'm going to go with this one. And so, like, when I'm working on this book, I'm constantly going, well, does this work? Is this, or can that be done some way that has a bit more clarity to it, or where that reads better, or and I'm trying to kind of think way more consciously on this book than that book for sure, about, you know, whether or not it's being done well. And, you know, to varying degrees, I suppose. Varying degrees of success as I go, but oh no, you're fine. It's welcome. Talking your ears off, gained a new appreciation of art and what it means, and I don't know anyone I can talk with about it. No, I'm in the same boat. I like in the past 4 or 5 years, I don't think I had really any art books. I have so many art books sitting here, on how to draw, or just plain old art books. Like I just got the art of Goosebumps, the Goosebumps books covers. It's just got all these paintings from Tim Jacobus in here. Let's see. And I'm just like constantly looking for books to. Oh, I just backed a Kickstarter for the How to Think When You Draw by the Etherington brothers, which just ended. I'm sorry to say if that sounds like something you're interested in, but those books I've been trying to track down for a while, and they're only ever available on their Kickstarters, but I should be getting those soon. But yeah, I'm really always thinking about beauty and truth. I think it sounds like you're kind of thinking about too. And so yeah, no, you are welcome. And I always chat on this with whoever wants to talk. Let's see. This is so so rough that I don't know where to begin. Also, I think that pose needs to be redrawn. No, wait. I'm confusing myself somehow. Said truth and beauty was seen as part of the same idea, in the ancient world. But then again, they thought beauty was closer to reality and that our souls knew it, whilst the world was an approximation. It was closer to reality and that our souls knew it, whilst the world was an approximation. Like, I think what you're saying is like, we're always trying to achieve beauty and like and approach it, but you know, there are true values that we're always trying to discover, but we don't quite know when we're there because it appears one might think it's in the eye of the beholder, but it's and I think there's I always compare it to math. Like math is really fascinating to me, even though I'm terrible at it, because it's like it's undeniably true and it's just out there in the universe regardless of us being around, you know. And so it blows my mind like that it's just true of its own. I don't even know how to say it. It's just a force of the universe. It's just I don't know, it's a force, but you know, it's just of the universe, universally true. And I feel like that is I feel like I detect that in art as well. And I think that's kind of what, like in the ancient world, I think that's what they were. I think that's their inclination as well. That there is a math to beauty. That we might not be able to ever wrap our heads around, perhaps, but I think there is truth in it, regardless of what variables we uncover in the course of human history. Beauty means something is closer to what it is actually trying to become. Like mathematics, 3 plus 3 is 6, but that is what the universe is at its foundation. Pythagoras thought, man, you know your stuff, I feel like, more than I do. Pythagoras thought that reality was like that. It was real, and mundus was a cause of that. I don't know what mundus is. Sorry, I'm a layman. The beauty ideal was that a form had a true ideal. That you find something more of what it is through what is ideal, and what we ought to strive for rather than what is at the moment, or what it is at the moment. Mundus is the material world. Okay. That is some good food for thought. I'm glad you're in here, man. Woman? Sorry, I don't know. But no, thank you. I am glad you're here. You got me all fired up this morning. Afternoon now. That doesn't look right. That, and I'll just say that gets me thinking about Jesus, right? Because I don't know, like, so like the in the Bible, like Moses comes down with the commandments, and it's like, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt this, thou shalt that, and then everyone's like, oh yeah, that thou shalt not kill, that makes sense, and then Jesus comes and he's like, you've heard it said, thou shalt not kill, but I say unto you, if you call your brother fool, you're dead where you stand. He kind of like ups it a billionfold, you know what I mean? And it's odd, even this, strange and actually not realistic at all. You have something much more true and appealing in a way. I'm glad you think so. Isn't it sort of strange that we can even understand what you're doing, let alone enjoy it and how it's better? Well, thank you. I really, it really means that's really great to hear that you think so. Just on the bit that you've seen. You say that wasn't just meant as a compliment, but the thing itself is strange, isn't it? Yeah, that you're kind of picking up on that kind of what I'm trying to do. Is that what you're saying? Like, and that we're both kind of thinking about the same thing. And that when we're looking at at this page. Yeah, right. I pulled out my phone for some reason and I don't remember what I was going to do. Oh well. How can we appreciate it? How can we see that there's quality to it and growing even though it's disconnected from reality? Yeah, and that's the kind of thing too. It's like, I mean, aside from like using a ruler to do the panels and like these lines here for these squares, it's like this is all like just haphazardly kind of thrown down onto the page, right? Like there's not much measurement or anything going on. I'm just kind of like,
eyeballing everything and winging it and just screwing around with a cartoon character, on these pages. And oh, my sister's calling me. I'll call her back. Because I'm almost done here. But even though it's just goofy cartoon characters, and it's like you said, like, how do we perceive that there's quality to it? Like, there's got to be something to that, right? That we detect quality in the screwiest things above other screwy things, I knew there was something weird going on here. Couldn't put my finger on it when I was drawing it. I think I had an extra line on one side of his arm or something. He said, mathematics are the same way. We use it to create buildings. We don't just reflect the world, but are disconnected and interconnected to it in a weird way. The abstract view of the world is bizarre. I think so too. It's like Ren and Stimpy again. It's like it's so outlandish and strange and like ugly and stuff, but it's at the same time I find it so stinking beautiful. Sorry, I missed this one. It's not material, and there's something not fundamentally material, but it is the world we got to know growing up. My sister's at a lake house in Wisconsin, 3 hours away from here. I'm wondering if she's like, I thought you were gonna come over, and you're streaming. But that's okay. I will get there. So, I mean, we always and ever just see the world, but that is not how we work. We live in abstractions and form the world through abstractions and form the world through abstractions. Yeah, and that's true. It's like so much is just perception and not concrete fact. It's like the inside of our head is as real as the outside. I think I'm going to start getting abstract with these stairs, if you know what I mean. Well, that's what I was going to do. I was going to look up this this pose here.
So I think I actually want his arm. Nothing is concrete fact. All is abstraction. You only and ever see the world as you interpret it. That's not the world in and of itself, but we share ideas. It's okay. That almost sounds too that idea almost sounds too abstract, but it's like it reminds me of like when you're it looks like you're touching your the finger, but there's if you zoom super in to like microscopically in or nano beyond that, it's like it's never really there's always like this infinite smallness between them, right? Separating them. Okay. He said you need to go, but have a nice weekend. It was a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Likewise. Good chatting with you. Yeah, I gotta get moving myself. Oh, I forgot I was doing. It's going down on this arm. So Denton Crux is already here. Yeah, I'm always happy to talk about stuff, that kind of stuff. Now, if I can keep up my end of the conversation, that's a plus, but I like thinking about that kind of stuff. As far as art and beauty and truth go. Truth, goodness, and beauty. think these steps should come out farther. Meet this curve a little better. I'm going to be like looking up all the stuff that Lawrence was referencing. Like Michelangelo, whatever. I feel like there were a couple things that he mentioned that I was like, I gotta look into that. I gotta look into that. So, if this is kind of getting this strange perspective, what is that going to do for these little squares? I think that's what's kind of messing me up now. So let me that is. For these squares, I need to figure out the perspective on these now. Laura, it's bringing the high mind to Ink the Book Show. I love it. See, this is more. know the curves guy. My stomach's all rumbly. And then this is the surface of the pyramid behind them. Okay. And I think I'm going to throw in a hint of his tie here, his crooked little tie. And then these squares I'm actually going to use the technical pin here, or whatever you call it. Mundus. I should have known that was the world. I knew that. I'm still a layman though. That was my favorite conversation I've had all week. Wait. Let's see. One here. Ah! My pen just wandered away. Here, that's not gonna work too well. I don't know where the cap for that went. The white pen that I had. ¡Ay! ¡Caramba! Okay, and then I'll go back to the brush for these kind of brick lines of the pyramid. Oh no, I got it. Okay. Thought I missed a line. If I jump, I'll scrape you up. Jump to sanitize Super Gold Cup. Or something like that, I don't remember. Ding up the surface. Same with these steps. What about these? Let's see here. And I feel like it's kind of it can sound hoity-toity to talk about cartoons in such highfalutin talk like that, but I really think that like art is important and beauty is important, even if it's just just thinking about what you're looking at or thinking about what you're drawing or just at all. Just trying it, like, what is it, like high tide raises all boats. Like if you're just kind of aspiring to be more than mediocre, I think something in us needs that. I think I don't know how to put it, and I'm not the most qualified guy to string a sentence together, but so you'll have to take my gut feelings on my ideas before I explain anything well or thoroughly. But I think I get the feeling that that trying to be a better artist is good for me and maybe good for outside of me as well. Anyway, that's as close as I'm going to get to getting that thought out. But in the meantime, I got to get ready to get out of here. And I won't be doing a proper Ink the Book show for the next 2 days, at least. 2 days. And but I will be doing. I am going to try and do some little tiny broadcasts, maybe with my brothers in them, maybe with my sisters in them, maybe with my parents in them, and we'll get something out there. But I got to get ready, get moving, and I'll be around. But this has been Ink the Book Show. I'm Ryan O'Connor. I'll be back. Keep on watching. Thanks for watching. Goodbye, everybody. You're my best friend.